All right. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. So Bitcoin is currently coming up to retest the $9,000 level. We're still seeing a lot of demand for Bitcoin. We're still seeing a lot of buyers step into the market, not that many sellers. So things are looking pretty good. So we're going to be, hanging out, watching the price action, discussing some key things to keep in mind for the price of Bitcoin moving forward. So we're going to let people join in on the chat. I'll be back in a few minutes. So let's just let people join in on this chat, guys. I'll be right back. What is up, guys? What's going on? Let me make sure everything's good. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Bitcoin above $9,000 right now. Things looking pretty good. We're seeing a continued increase in demand for Bitcoin. Buyers are still stepping into the market. Not many sellers right now because, guys, we are, what is it, like less than 10 days away from the halving. So, there's not that many people that are thinking, I should sell Bitcoin right now, right? Because we're entering the halving, which is historically a very bullish event. So there's not that many people that are, thinking about selling, there's just a lot of bullish speculators stepping into the market. A lot of people want to buy Bitcoin. We're having record search volume for the halving on Google, or on Google Trends. So, things are looking good, guys. Bitcoin trading at $9,025 now. So we're going to be going over a whole bunch of stuff. Let me make sure this is all okay. Let me know if you guys like the ambient music, if I should keep it or not, if it's loud enough. I'm going to bring up the volume on it. But yeah, guys, things are looking great for Bitcoin. Let's just bring it back to the 4-hour chart. So, since our crash, actually, let's just go to like the 12-hour. Guys, since the crash for Bitcoin, we've just seen higher lows the entire way up. Higher low after higher low after higher low. Increase in demand for Bitcoin. And if we go back to the 4-hour chart, even after this breakout, guys, where we have this higher low, even after the breakout, we just see buyers stepping in, no sellers, not really, not many at least, right? What we saw when we came up to 9,500 was some profit takers, right? People sitting on a lot of gains, probably leverage traders sitting on a lot of gains. They want to secure that profit. And, profit takers stepped into the market. But since then, we've still seen a lot of demand for Bitcoin, and buyers continue to step in as we're moving into the halving, right? So we'll see what happens here. The volume is still on a decline. So, in order to get some real resolution on this move, we're going to need to see an increase in volume and a push back above 9,100. The previous resistance here was just below 9,100, or about 9,100. But we've also broken above this downward sloping resistance trend right here. So we can see that overall the market is still remaining bullish, and there's still buy interest for Bitcoin at these levels. Right, the 21 EMA on the 4-hour, we're remaining above it. This is all looking really bullish right now. But of course, we need to break back above, 9,100 is that next major resistance. It might be tough to get above this, but anything is possible when you have this much demand for an asset. Bitcoin needs to get above 9,100, create new support along that, continue up, and then 9,500 is going to be that next major test. But for now, we're going to focus on breaking 9,100. But right now, we're kind of just hanging around the $9,000 range. So we're going to discuss, short-term stuff, long-term stuff. Let's just hop into the hourly, see what's going on here. So we haven't created a higher high just yet. We need to break above 9,100 to create a higher high. And we need some more volume to come in right now. But we'll see what happens. Let me check out the chat. We're going to be going over a bunch of stuff, short-term, long-term. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. Just going to look through chat real quick. It's nice to see that the market is still interested in buying at these levels. We had a significant pullback from 95 to 9,500 to 8,400, but since then, more higher lows. Edward Park in the chat, what's up, guys? Kevin Belanger in the chat, what is up? Guys, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that we're going to break above 9,100? Click 1 for yes, 2 for no as I check the chat, and then we'll go over some stuff. Someone wrote Bitcoin is dead. Yeah, that'd probably be a joke. Yeah, guys, like I was saying in the beginning of the stream, I mean, there's not that many people looking to sell because the halving is coming close, right? So it kind of makes sense to me. I mean, also looking at this 12-hour chart right now is pretty amazing. Just consistent higher lows. Now, of course, things are becoming a little bit more parabolic right now. So we have this interesting trajectory for Bitcoin here. So right now there's enough demand for us to push, to push back towards 9100 potentially. If we can break 9100, then we might be looking to range in between the previous. If we can break 9100, then we might be looking to range in between 9500 and this upward sloping trend line before the market makes its next major move, right? Whether that be a breakdown or a break above 9500. But we'll have to see, guys. We'll have to see. Long term, everything looks great right now. So here's the thing about what we're doing right now. I mean, things look really great. 9100 is the next major resistance. Then it's 9500. If we get above 9500, we're pretty much. I think we're pretty much going to be headed straight for 10K at that point. At that point, there would probably be enough FOMO, enough demand for Bitcoin to us, to send the price to the next major psychological resistance, which is going to be 10,000. So if we can get above 9,500, I think the market's going to be looking to target about 10,000 pretty quickly after that. Because, looking back, above 9,500, there's not all too much resistance. Right, above 9,500, it's pretty much 10,000. Because, most of the price action here, the price is just swinging through this area. And above 9,500, we're going to be looking at 10,000 as the next major resistance. Because there's nothing else that is really stopping us other than 10,000 as a resistance and 10,000 as a psychological resistance to break. And right now, the structure right here looks great. The structure looks great. We're, continued demand for Bitcoin right here. Not much selling at all. Profit taker stepped in, and we saw a continued increase in buyers. Where is Anthony M. Edward? Yo, Kevin, give me a wrench. I'll give you one. Yeah, for some reason, all of my mods got demodded somehow. Like, YouTube just removed all of my mods. I don't know what happened. I think it's because I hadn't streamed in many months until the other day. And all my mods were gone. So I have to add some of these mods back. Although, Anthony was never a mod before. But guys, definitely join the Discord. We have a lot of people from my Discord in here right now. And I'm in there all the time. Definitely join that Discord. So Bitcoin is just hanging out around 9,000 right now. So, everything's looking bullish. I think it's quite possible with the amount of demand that we have for Bitcoin right now, with the amount of interest that we have in Bitcoin, and there's a lot of bullish speculators, buying Bitcoin. People are, coming into the Discord asking me if they should buy Bitcoin. I have friends that are texting me, calling me, asking if they should be buying Bitcoin. So there's obviously a demand for Bitcoin right now. So that's why we're seeing the price continue up, which means it's possible that we could actually be looking to at least test 9,100, if not break it, with the right levels of demand. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. We definitely need more volume right now. And here's the thing, we could talk about some bearish stuff as well. Looking overall, just looking at, even though I'm bullish, but I'm just going to talk about some bearish stuff that if Bitcoin was to sell off anytime soon, again, I'm very focused on the long term, guys. And the way that it looks to me right now is that the 21-week EMA has historically acted as a very important pivot point for Bitcoin. I'm on Coinbase chart right now, so I don't have that much history to look at. I could go to the Bitstamp chart. The last time we crossed, after the bear market 2015, we crossed above the 21-week EMA, and we remain above it for the entire bull market. The next time we crossed below it was here, right before the bear market, right? So the 21-week EMA is historically very pivotal for Bitcoin, and the next time we had a major break above it was right before this bull phase up to 14K. The next time that we break below it was the beginning of the bear trend down to, well, now 38.58. And then we've had some chop above and below it. But what you'll notice now, guys, is that right as we snap above the 21-week EMA, we get this incredible move, what, like 23% to almost 25% to the upside, right when we get above the 21-week EMA. So, you know, the market, the market is interpreting the 21-week EMA as a very significant moving average. And generally, when you get above it, you see really significant moves, right? So keep that in mind. So my point here is, if we were to get, you know, I'm bullish, but if we were to get a sell-off, I think the market will probably be targeting the 21-week EMA. So if we do get some kind of pullback, I think we could consolidate along the 21-week EMA before we actually break out. So even if we do sell off soon, I think, you know, there's still a chance that we get some really nice bullish structure, a bullish continuation pattern on the weekly chart, and eventually break out. I'm just discussing some potential bearish scenarios. So keep that in mind. That is if the market rejects this level, right? Only in that scenario. Also, you know, a lot of people have been talking about the US dollar volume. I mean, looking at Coinbase, BTC to USD, Coinbase is a very popular exchange, so it's very good to use for volume analysis. And if you just mark up the volume right now on the weekly chart, this current weekly, which I guess there's only one day left on. I mean, guys, check it out. Check it out. This average volume right now, or this volume, the volume levels on this weekly are way above the average volume levels of most of the trading ranges from all of 2018 to 2019, right? We're well above the average right now. So that's good, right? That's all looking very good. And even just this whole range right here, I mean, the average level of volume was really good. There was a lot of interest in Bitcoin at those low levels. So the fact that we have, I'm just discussing long-term general stuff right now. The fact that we have this much demand at those low levels and this much volume at these low levels tells me that it's extremely unlikely that Bitcoin would enter any kind of, you know, bearish trend again to lower lows, right? Obviously, most of my viewers know that I'm very bullish on Bitcoin right now. But I just want to say that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that for some reason still think that Bitcoin is going to like drop down and break to like 2K or something, which I think is almost delusional at this point. And the reason is this volume right here, the level of interest in buying Bitcoin from below 4,000 to upwards of, you know, 7,800 was huge. A lot of interest there. And especially that added factor of the halving event. Historically, the halving is a very bullish event. Adding that into the mix, the demand was very high at those low levels. So bullish speculators are very interested in Bitcoin right now. And of course, the whales, guys, the whales were eating up prices. I mean, after the pandemic hit, we had this crash. The whales were eating up these levels, guys. Huge, you know, record levels of volume comparing to 20,000 area, right? The whales were taking advantage of that heavily. And when you have whales that take advantage of price levels at those lows, they're buying that much, right? You have to remember that the people that have the money in this market, the people that are taking these huge positions, are going to defend those positions, right? If the market sees some downside again, we come back to these levels, which I don't think is going to happen, but I'm just saying, you're going to get huge buys again. Right? They're going to defend that position, and trust me, that they will defend that position, unless there's the economic shutdowns are starting to end, and we're starting to see economies open back up. Certain states in the U.S. are releasing their reopening plans right now, so that's going to also add a little bit of positive sentiment to markets in general, and people will start making money again. And we'll probably see record numbers of re-employment once businesses open again. They're going to be calling up all their employees saying, hey, let's get back to work. We're going to see record numbers of re-employment. Of course, there are going to be many businesses that, could not handle this crisis, and they probably went bankrupt. But the ones that survived, will be calling up employees, rehiring again at record levels. So you have to remember that as well, guys. A lot of people are talking about the unemployment rate, but it's completely different to anything we've seen, because the government ordered, you know, a stay-at-home order, you know, local governments and stuff. So once they take that off, we're going to see record reemployment. So I think that could add some more positive sentiment in the coming months. I still think it's quite possible that the S&P might see a reversal anyway. I think, you know, the job of the Federal Reserve is to protect the markets, and I think what they did was, you know, we had an economic shutdown, so they pumped the markets. You know, we had the initial crash, and I think they just printed a lot of money, pumped the markets up, had that rebound, so that as everything was shut down, we weren't just like crashing, we were rebounding. Artificial manipulation, artificial pumping of the markets. And it's possible that when things start to reopen, we might actually sell off a little bit. That's what I'm starting to think right now. It makes sense to me. I'm not talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about the stock market. But yeah, average, you know, the weekly volume right now with the day left on the weekly, amazing volume, right? On the US dollar exchanges. So what's happening now on the lower time frames? Just seeing a little bit of 9K resistance, of course, psychological number. We'll see, guys. We'll see what actually happens. We're still, you know, we're still sitting in an area of declining volume right here. So we're going to want to, you know, we'll have to see what kind of resolution comes in on this volume decline. You know, things are looking quite bullish right now. Anything is possible in the short term. As you guys know, I talk a lot about long term because that's what I like to do. I like to do macro plays. I like to accumulate at good areas of value and then play the macro and look for macro signals. And that's what we've been focused on my channel, was, you know, determining if Bitcoin hit that low. And as you guys know, for the past month and a half, we were talking about how it's extremely likely that we hit that low and that we would see a bullish reversal. And all of that has played out. And that was simply, well, there was many other factors, but that weekly volume, again, I've talked about this many times, but people seem to, in crypto, for whatever reason, there's this like thing that people think that because crypto has, you know, OTC transactions, they say like you can't trust volume on exchanges, which on lower time frames, I guess that's true, but on higher time frames, the volume is very good. It's a very good tool to use to understand interest levels at certain price levels. How much interest do we have at certain price levels on the open market? And, you know, the 20K level, guys, right here, 20K levels. I mean, look, huge volume. The $6,000 temporary support, huge volume. The $3,000 breakdown, huge volume levels, right? At least higher than anywhere else near it. 14K top. Huge volume, 38.58 low. Record volume, right? So this is the type of stuff I look for. And we've been discussing this heavily, right? And, you know, of course, when you do macro analysis, things get a little repetitive because you're analyzing the long term. But these are the most reliable indicators that I look for, some stuff like this. And just remember, guys, that volume was a huge tell. And we've been just repeating this on end. And for some reason, people thought we were going to go lower, but it just didn't make sense to me. If you look at the weekly volume, it just does not make sense. All these volume spikes line up with major peaks and major lows. We just hit that major low, an incredible rebound. Of course, the S&P also seeing a rebound helped Bitcoin rebound. It helped give confidence to the Bitcoin rebound. You guys have to remember that there is a correlation, and the correlation has a lot to do with sentiment, confidence in markets, right? That is a big part of the correlation, right? It's not always correlated, but the sentiment of markets affects Bitcoin. The sentiment of traditional markets affects Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has a lot to do with confidence because it is a speculative asset, so it has a lot to do with confidence. So that is this type of, you know, we've been discussing this heavily. I mean, we've been analyzing all of this stuff heavily on this channel as well. So we're seeing a little bit of resistance off of 9K. Just going to go to the hourly. So we're testing 9K. Seeing a bit of resistance right now. Overall, what I like about this right now is that we're sustaining prices, right? You know, we're sustaining these levels. And, you know, we didn't like come up to 9,500 and just see this like crazy dump or something, right? It wasn't like some crazy unhealthy move. We're seeing confidence in the price of Bitcoin, and we're seeing that even after this pump, and even after we pulled back to 8,400, we saw more people stepping into the market, more bullish speculators, that increase in demand and continued push up. Now, again, we're sustaining prices right now. And we're sitting at some critical resistance, 9,100, 9,500, very critical resistance from the long term. And of course, you know, this resistance level was the descending triangle support, right? So we had a lot of trading taking place at 91 to 9,500. So there's historic volume sitting at that level. That's why we found resistance there. So you got to remember that as well. So if we do break above 9,500 at some point, we're going to be most likely running straight up to 10,000, right? And then above that's 10,500, right? But if we break above 9,500, we're looking for 10K pretty fast, in my opinion. But we'll see. Again, we're at the historic resistance. So, you know, things are looking very good for Bitcoin, very bullish here. But if we do see a pullback, definitely check out that 21-week EMA. We may be creating a bullish continuation pattern along the 21-week EMA. And, you know, we would just be looking to remain above 8,000 on any sort of major pullback. You want to remain above 8K, remain above the 21-week EMA. That's going to be your support target and potential reaccumulation zone for a potential bullish continuation pattern. Testing, you know, the 9,000 area with higher lows. Not necessarily an ascending triangle, but I would expect something in this direction if we were to pull back. But we'll see what happens, guys. All right, I've been talking for a bit here. Let me just go through chat real quick. Guys, definitely hit that like button. We're almost at 100. Let's see if we can get up to 200 likes. There's 465 people watching, which means we should have 465 likes. Rohit is asking, why are the altcoins not pumping since Bitcoin is making its upward move? Well, guys, I mean, Bitcoin coming up to 9,100 right here in testing Bitcoin coming up to 9,000 right now in testing 9,000 is really not, it's not significant. It's just a psychological price level. And it's interesting that we're sustaining prices retesting 9,000, which is why I'm streaming right now. I mean, the stream is called Moon and Chill, but that's just what I've called every other stream. We're not necessarily mooning in the short term. We're just retesting 9K. Just an interesting level to be at right now. And we're just discussing a bunch of stuff. But you're saying, why are alts not pumping? Well, generally, guys, when Bitcoin sees a major surge, Bitcoin takes the volume away from other alts. But then when you start to get the sideways action, sometimes alts can get the volume, actually. So I would actually be looking at some alts right now, potentially. You know, unless Bitcoin if Bitcoin dumps, then of course alts are going to sell off as well. But, you know, when Bitcoin trades sideways, guys, this is when the volume starts to come in to altcoins. You know, of course, altcoins do move up with Bitcoin, but a lot of times alts will see major moves once Bitcoin is done its run and it's trading sideways. Some volume sometimes re-enters the altcoin market. So just keep that in mind. Also, I mean, Ethereum is technically an altcoin, and it has been pumping like crazy, right? Look at this structure. Just a straight shot up, just a straight shot to the upside. Let's just go back to the 3-day. I mean, like, I guess it's not really a channel. It's more like there is some price contraction there. But yeah, I guess it was like a rising wedge, but we did break out of that. We already kind of broke out to the upside. But that is like that's a really nice bounce back, guys. I mean, Ethereum is already coming back to like pre-dump levels, right? We had the initiation of the global pandemic like over here, or like as we were coming down, and Ethereum is now like coming right back to almost where that major dump took place. So it's been a really nice recovery. Some altcoins are pumping, like Ethereum. So you're going to be looking at, like, you know, depending on when we actually meet this downward sloping resistance. You know, this is the macro downward sloping resistance that you need to get above for there to be any sort of major bullish move. Other than that, we could be consolidating below it. Similar thing kind of goes for Bitcoin right now, actually. On the weekly chart, if you just like mark up, you know, some people will like take the $20,000 top and then they'll draw their trend line from 20,000 all the way down here. And then it just like crosses into the 14K wick, which I don't think you really need to do it like that. You just go from that top wick at 13,800 to the next high or lower high. And that brings us pretty much to where we're at right now. You know, we just hit that downward sloping resistance, which also coincides with the descending triangle support, right? So that's why, you know, it was a pretty obvious resistance point. We have this downward sloping resistance, which meets at 9,500, and also 91 and 9,500 was the descending triangle support zone. So it makes sense that we found resistance right here, right? It's almost like a perfect target, perfect target hit kind of moment. Of course, you want to get above 9,500 for there to be any sort of major macro move. I mean, for there to be a bullish macro signal. For really the next major bullish macro signal, it's obviously about 9,500, and that would be bringing you above the downward sloping resistance. And then you could probably see some really nice moves at that point. But we'll see, guys. We're still below resistance. Still below resistance. Still trying to get above 9K. Still, still lower highs right here. Just testing 9,000 right now. Just gonna go through chat real quick. I mean, we also have higher lows though, so that's also obviously very bullish. Crypto Cali, what is up, dude? Just go through chat. Just gonna see some of your guys' comments. Jesus has entered the chat. What's up, man? Yeah, increase volume, please. Daniel says, I agree. Definitely need some more volume here. And let's see. Somebody says, Kevin, you're delusional. We're going to 6K. Okay. This is an interesting claim. I mean, I don't know why people would say 6K when you obviously have a major historic support sitting at 6,400, right? If somebody said we're going to 6,430 or something, I would be like, all right, that's a pretty bearish estimate, but okay, that makes sense. But they're just saying 6K. It's a little weird, right? It's kind of that's like an extremely speculative guess, but I don't know. I'm not sure how you could really be bearish on Bitcoin right now. Of course, we have seen a major run up. So yeah, you could say we're going to sell off. You know, you could just have that thought. But you know, guys, people were saying that all the way up. Now, I'm not saying that we're guaranteed to break out right now or anything, but I'm saying like the entire way up, guys, like everywhere here, everywhere here on the way up. People were just like, oh, we're going so much lower. We're going so much lower. We're going so much lower, because they thought it was logical, quote unquote, that it's logical that we will sell off, right? Guys, technical analysis is more important than what you think is logical in a market. A lot of these bears on crypto Twitter were like talking about selling off again because it was like logical. Like, oh, it was just like, I don't know. You got to use TA, not what you think is logic. Yeah, 6K not only seems oddly low, there's just no real price target there to have. 6,400 is the historic support. So if you're going to be super bearish, you want to target 6,400, okay. It's really bearish, but okay. It's going to take a major going into the halving especially, it's going to take something, I don't know, pretty bearish to make this happen, like a major stock market crash again. Maybe then this could take place. Right? Possibly, but I wouldn't really be targeting that low right now, especially not going to the halving, guys. Where I'm, what I think is, likely if we have a sell-off is just riding that 21-week EMA. We would come back, retest 8,000, and then create a bullish continuation pattern into this area and break out above the downward sloping resistance. So if we were to sell off, I would target 8,000, and I would actually be looking to accumulate more cryptos at 8,000 if that were to take place. This is kind of what I think is likely right now going into the halving if we got a pullback. Guys, someone's asking, can you explain what chart you're on? Right here, if you see it on the screen, I mean, maybe your screen's too small or something, but it says 1 week right here. Coinbase Pro, BTC USD, 1 week, right here. Yeah, that's actually something I need to work on, which is calling out the time frame more often. I've actually had that complaint before, so I need to work on that. So people who are joining the stream right now, I was just saying, if we got a sell-off, I'd be looking to target 8,000 and then, most likely be looking to remain above the 21-week EMA and create some sort of bullish continuation pattern. This is like my more short-term bearish scenario, which is still a macro bullish scenario. Let me just go through chat. People are desperate for lower prices because they are already sold, says Benji. Yeah, I've noticed that, right? You know, what was interesting to see, market psychology is so interesting to me. The way that people think about the market, sometimes it really frustrates me, like how completely stupid some of the comments are sometimes. But we hit 38.58, right? And there was people that, missed that because it happened like at night. I mean, of course, that was for US. Some people were probably just too scared to take action down there to buy, whatever, of course. But then as we're moving up, everyone's like, oh, we're going to go back down again. We're going to go back down again. And then we just create higher lows. And then, of course, we had a slight breakdown. And then people were thinking that we were going to go back down. And they were like, yeah, I want to buy at these lows again. But, the weekly volume suggested we would not be going back to that low. And, You know, people just like missed, you know, they were convinced of a major bearish downturn again because they weren't paying attention to the weekly volume. And they were in denial that we found a low, and they didn't want to buy because they thought Bitcoin was going to go lower. And now people are FOMOing, right? Now the price is just leaving them in the dust, and now they got a FOMO. Well, they don't have to, but they are. But yeah, that weekly volume was pretty epic. Guys, that's why, you know, a lot of people I noticed a lot of people in crypto don't have much experience trading in other markets. They're kind of new to trading, or they only have experience trading in crypto or something like that. That's why, like, a lot of people like to just trade, and they take all their money and they're just making trades. They're just buying and selling, buying and selling. They don't actually own any crypto. No, this is not financial advice, but you should own the crypto. Like, you should own it. You should buy some, put it aside, and leave it there. Don't just trade. I mean, of course, that's just me. That's just my opinion. I think you should own crypto so that you're always riding the market no matter what, right? Personally, I love to own assets. I don't like to buy and sell short term. I like to own it. It makes me feel much better to own it. Some people are the opposite. They feel uncomfortable owning cryptos because it's too volatile or something. But guys, when the price goes down, I accumulate more. So my point here is that, you know, and this is what I was saying this on my channel. You got to accumulate, right? You just gotta, when you see a major downturn, you got to muster up the courage to accumulate a little bit. And a lot of people did. I know most people that were watching my channel are in a lot of profits right now. But owning crypto, I think, is important. Even if you are a short-term trader, just owning assets is important. Because that way you're always involved, and even if you're missing out on something, you know, those positions are still gaining. Let's see. Let's look at everything overall today. So yeah, that's another thing. So, you know, of course, a lot of people have mixed opinions about XRP. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm not a fan of XRP because Ripple openly admits that they make money by dumping XRP on you, on the retailer, right? They openly admit that they make their investors money by dumping XRP on the market. So I don't want to be invested in that kind of an asset. I'm not saying it can't have gains. Of course, XRP can have huge gains. But just like all the other XRP pumps, remember that it's going to also trickle down and just see lower lows, lower highs for the next year. Or in XRP's case, for the next 2 years, lower lows, lower highs. Right? In a bull market, XRP can see a humongous rally, of course. But, you know, one thing that I find interesting about XRP right now, it is the third top crypto, so you can't ignore it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but one thing that I do find extremely interesting is the level of accumulation that has taken place at that 11 cent mark is huge. Right? There is interest in XRP at these low levels. Huge accumulation, guys. Big money interested in XRP at the lows. Of course, XRP is supposed to be a banking product. You know, a settlement system for banks. So, of course, if you have banks on board, they might be interested in accumulating at those low levels. So, and that's kind of what it looks like right now, is you have tons of accumulation. Of course, the prices are cheap. It's 11 cents, so volume's naturally going to be higher there, but there's just a lot, you know, in comparison to like this area here or anything on the Bitstamp exchange, huge. So I find that pretty interesting. This shows me that you could see some big moves for XRP. You could in a bullish environment. But again, XRP guys, we were in, you know, I was warning the XRP community about this for like 2 years straight. And I even told Alex Cobb, I was like, hey, you're in a descendant triangle. And he was like, oh, you're just a hater. But, you know, we were in lower highs, horizontal lows. Classic bearish pattern. And it was staring you in the face for 2 years straight. And then we break down. But now there is good volume. There's a lot of interest, which I think is interesting. And, you know, I've talked a lot of crap on XRP, but I just figured I would point this out to you guys. I'm personally not buying XRP, but I do think this is interesting because it is the third top cryptocurrency. I'm personally not interested in it, but the chart, the volume there looks quite interesting to me. So Ethereum bounce back, looking super strong, pretty awesome. XRP, a lot of volume there. Litecoin also seeing a nice run up, coming above 48. That's nice to see. Actually, Litecoin is one I want to look at because we never really saw much of a bounce back. So Litecoin is still below the 21-week EMA. So Litecoin has been lagging a little bit. Again, the 21-week EMA is a significant moving average for a lot of these coins, actually. And looking at the history of Litecoin here on Coinbase, again, I like to look at Coinbase because the volume is nice. The volume is reliable on Coinbase. So that, and it gives me the most accurate read on the interest for certain coins. But we have, you know, breaking above the 21-week EMA, the beginning of the bull market, running up. The next time we break below it is right before what? The bear market. The next time we break it before it is before what? This bullish phase. The next time we break below it is what? This bearish phase. And now, like Bitcoin, we're chopping above and below it. So Litecoin, you know, Bitcoin's above the 21-week EMA. Litecoin is still below it, and you know that's why we haven't seen. Well, that's not why, but we haven't seen much action for Litecoin. Once we get above the 21-week EMA for Litecoin, I think that's when you're going to see some good action for Litecoin, just like all the other cryptos. So we have this bounce back happening. No break above the 21-week EMA yet, but if you do get above that level, you know, you're going to be targeting, you know, at least like $55, if not upwards over $60 on the next breakout above the 21-week EMA. I would actually say it's likely that it's going to be closer to just above 60, like 61, 62, if you get above the 21-week EMA. That's what you're going to be looking for. This was also, you know, pivotal zone here. We have some resistance here, some support here around these levels. So Litecoin got to get above that level. So that's kind of how I'm seeing Litecoin right now. Kind of a weak bounce, but if we break above this, it'll be pretty good. Hold on, guys. Let's go through chat real quick. Let's see what else should we analyze. Guys, we got almost 500 people watching, which means we should have 500 likes on this stream. Definitely hit that like button. Also, guys, if you're new here, definitely subscribe. I'm going to be doing these types of lives more often. Again, my live streams are more pretty laid back. Just hanging out, talking about coins. You know, nothing's planned, just going off the whim. And then, you know, mainly just interacting with the chat half the time. So I kind of just read the chat. Chainlink, someone's asked Chainlink, any big move soon, question mark. Well, we're at, you know, Chainlink already had a really good recovery, right? So, you know, Chainlink had a huge drop from the highs during the global pandemic, came back to the lows, around $1.50, found some good support, rallied straight back up to $4. We hit $4 the other day, straight back up to $4, which shows me that there's a lot of demand for Chainlink here, right? There's a lot of demand for Chainlink. People want Chainlink, and Chainlink in the past has had its own like bull runs against the crypto market. I'm pretty sure it was like Chainlink was like running up while Bitcoin wasn't. So naturally, when Chainlink is running, people like FOMO it, right? When Chainlink is running, people like to FOMO in. We have this nice bullish reversal pattern, breakout, seeing higher lows, still seeing higher lows. Actually, this looks pretty good. This actually looks pretty good right now. Still seeing higher lows. But my point here is that Chainlink already saw, like, okay, let's just go back to like the 3-day. The highest prices for Chainlink were like here, right? Just above 5. Before the global pandemic, we were sitting at those prices again, actually, you know, testing those highs. Had the major crash, ran straight back up to this area, to basically like the support zone of this formation. So we're running straight back up to this area. So now we're coming up to all-time high areas. So you're going to see chop in this area probably, right? It's not going to be easy to just pop out of here. So you're going to see chop most likely within this range. And, you know, it's going to have to do a lot with Bitcoin. $3.85, which we're actually starting to push above right now, is the area that we need to get above and hold. So let's just go to like the hourly or maybe the 4-hour. So, you know, $3.85 has been a level that we really haven't been able to cross. You know, we crossed it a little bit here, but we need to get above $3.85 and hold this, right? And then break 4. Still seeing higher lows, so that's good. Things are looking pretty good for Chainlink, guys. Still a lot of demand. Still seeing higher lows. If we can get above $3.85 and get some more support along that area, then it's likely we break 4. And then we're going to be coming back to retest this range, which we will probably see some chop in this area. Probably. And again, you know, a lot of this has to do with Bitcoin, you know, how Bitcoin is being traded. But $4.35 probably is the next target if we break above $4. If you can get above $4, you're probably looking for $4.35, which is this area right here where we found some resistance and some more resistance and some support and resistance. Just going through chat. Looking at the 1 hour just to see what's going on for Bitcoin there. Yeah, I mean, Litecoin is still one of the highest valued cryptos, though. You know, it's possible. You never really know what's going to happen to a crypto project. I still see that there is interest in it, but the sentiment for Litecoin has kind of dwindled a little bit. I still think there could be, you know, again, if it is pretty well adopted, guys, right? Litecoin is a pretty well adopted crypto, and it has been for many years. So there's definitely still potential, but yeah, I mean, I haven't seen as much hype for it. That's for sure. Yeah, Chainlink. Someone says Chainlink is also above the 21-week EMA. Yeah, but I mean Chainlink's structure is a little different. It's behaved a little bit differently, so that's a little bit less significant for me. At this point, guys, I mean, it's all about Chainlink breaking the all-time high. Because we keep coming right back up to the highs, and we haven't broken out of the all-time highs yet. So that's really what it's all about for Chainlink right now. And then we'll be entering a blue sky breakout, which means we have no previous resistance, and we can go through price discovery, and depending on the demand for Chainlink at the time of the breakout, that's going to determine how high we go, right? So I guess you could just like look at your fib extension, go from swing high to swing low, and just like, you know, take a guess. You could just take a guess, I guess, you know. If you break above all-time high, at least $6 to $7.50 here. If you're looking at the Coinbase wick high, you could enter the sevens on the next major breakout. And that's just short-term. That is, if we break the all-time high, that's like the short to medium term target, like upwards of like over 7. But again, it all depends on the demand at the time of the breakout. Because if Chainlink has a break at the all-time high and then Bitcoin all of a sudden dumps, that breakout's not going to be as good, right? So there's a lot of factors that play into where it's going to actually go. Chainlink versus Engine, guys, you can't even compare them. You can't, you can't compare those things, right? Like, if you're asking, should I invest in Chainlink or should I invest in Engine, then that's a valid question. But you can't, you know, I see people like comparing coins that have completely different technologies. It's like comparing Monero to XRP. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? If you're asking, should I buy Chainlink or should I buy Engine? Again, it's not financial advice. I would vote Chainlink, but who knows? I feel like my camera is... Hold on. It's like really bright right here, my forehead. All right. So looks like Bitcoin is just below 9K again. So we definitely need more volume here for Bitcoin. Definitely need more volume. We are seeing, you know, sellers step in, looking to get some orders filled here. It's kind of what we've been seeing, right? Price rallies up to just below 9,100. Profit takers, people getting their orders filled. Same thing's happening here. We'll see if the demand is high enough. Again, it is the weekend, so could be a little bit weak. But if, you know, we'll see. We'll see. If we break above 9,100, things could get really bullish. Someone asked, how large is the total volume on Bitcoin traded in 2019 between 9,000 and 14,000, comparable to 4,000 to 9,000 last month? Well, guys, at lower prices, volume is naturally going to be higher. So you got to remember that. You can't compare, like, it's not the best comparison. I mean, one thing you can do is look at the bear market low and the run up to, let's just say here, right here before that last final major enthusiastic run, right? So like we have a parabolic trend, we have the bear market low, we rally once, we rally twice, we rally 3 times. So excluding the top third rally, I guess we can just go to the 3-day chart now. Just, you know, excluding this top run, I mean, just the volume from the bear market low to up to where we are now, compare that volume to this run, right? Way more interest in Bitcoin right now. Because here's the thing, guys, right? There's a lot of psychology, right? You had this major bull market, major run up. We break the parabolic trend, clear indication that the bear market was coming. And that's what we discussed on this channel for all of 2018. And then we break down. Everyone loses confidence. People think, okay, well, this is just, you know, at that point, guys, right? You had all of 2016, 2017. Everything's great. Everything's bullish. You enter this phase right here, and people are still bullish on Bitcoin, still accumulating around 6,000, still accumulating. Even institutions are buying, and they're just expecting a run up again. And instead of that, we just break down, and everyone's like, oh my God, Bitcoin's a scam. It's dead. It's dead. It's over. It's over. Which is funny because this 85% pullback was the same percentage pullback we saw in the last bear market from 1100 to 200. But anyway, exact same extrapolation, which is kind of funny. Same exact pullback. But regardless, people lost confidence here. So volume was low at the bear market low. Volume was kind of low. And now I feel like confidence over time, you know, Bitcoin ran back up to 14,000. We traded up here for a while. We were well above the bear market low. Confidence came back into Bitcoin. People were thinking maybe we'll break 20,000 soon. Then, of course, the global pandemic hits. We hit that 30 to 58 low. Volume shoots up because now there's more confidence in Bitcoin as an asset, you know, after this 14K run compared to the destruction here in the bear market. Right? People did not expect that. But now we saw like, okay, well, Bitcoin recovered. So now there's more confidence here. More people are buying here. So that's kind of an interesting thing. So I feel like people are a little bit more comfortable buying Bitcoin at these lows compared to the last breakdown of the bear market where people thought Bitcoin could go to 1,000 or lower. Yeah, and that's another thing, guys. We've been trading. Someone just asked about stock to flow. We've been trading sideways for the exact amount of time that the stock to flow model suggested we would. It's like perfect. Look. Halving's coming up, and now we're seeing a little bit more bullish action, a lot more buy volume. Guys, we're almost at 300 likes. Let's see if we can get it to 400 likes. And definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell button. But yeah, guys, stock to flow is interesting. We always follow it throughout Bitcoin history. A lot of people think that for some reason we're not going to follow it now. But right now we are. I mean, we're having a nice recovery coming back up. Halving's about to happen. Things look pretty good. So like throughout Bitcoin history, we pretty much follow the model pretty close. All right, and now we're entering the potential next bullish phase. And one thing you can do to give yourself a better idea if we're going to confirm the next major uptrend going with the stock to flow model, looking for minimum 15K by the end of the year. Minimum 15K, some are saying 30K. I'm just going to stick with a conservative target of 15K just to be realistic. Which it could be higher than that, but that's kind of where I'm thinking minimum 15K by the end of the year. You know, of course, which seems, some people think that's crazy, but I'm actually being conservative. Guys, you know, Bitcoin historically is bullish going through the halving. But what was I going to say? Yeah, the next major bullish macro signal is this downward sloping resistance, right? So we got the halving coming up. We got the halving coming up. Stock to flow suggests we're going to enter the next bull phase. How do we know if this is going to happen? Well, it's this downward sloping resistance that you got to keep your eye on. If we can, you know, trend above it, create support along it, and rally off of that downward sloping resistance, I would say at that point it's looking very likely that you're looking for the next bull market, basically. So breaking above this downward sloping resistance, creating support, and then rallying is going to be, for me, you know, a big confirmation that we may actually be following the stock flow model or just entering a next major bull market. And you know what's really interesting is the stock flow suggested that we would trade sideways until, you know, in 2016 until this point having happens, and then we have a major bull market. You know, I'm sure people right here were saying like, oh, Bitcoin's rallying, we're going to have a bull market again, and it's going to go up more. But if you know, I've never really been a big stock to flow guy, but recently it's kind of caught my interest because CryptoWatch added it. But it's interesting, if you had just followed this, you would have kind of had a way better idea of when we were actually going to have the next bull market. And of course, guys, a lot of you watch crypto YouTubers, and for all of 2018, a lot of crypto YouTubers were saying like, oh, we're going to, you know, every bounce, oh, Bitcoin's bullish, we're going up again, right? They thought, oh, Bitcoin's bullish, we're going up again. You know, this is the bottom, we're going up again. But if you just followed the stock to flow model, you would realize, okay, we have a lot more time. We have a lot more time to trade sideways before the next major run up. And a lot of people think that Bitcoin, you know, so one thing that could delay this from happening in this way is a major stock market collapse. Again, if the stock market sees a major collapse again, Bitcoin will probably be going down as well, or at least sustaining these prices or something, right? At least like trading sideways before any sort of major breakout, right? You know, a lot of people think that Bitcoin's supposed to perform well during crisis events, and that's not what Satoshi said. Satoshi Nakamoto never said Bitcoin should do well during crisis events. Satoshi Nakamoto never said Bitcoin's a hedge against the stock market. What Satoshi was doing was creating a new way to value money in a way, in setting it up in a way that was a hedge against inflation, right? And we are seeing stuff like that take place in the global economy, but it takes time. It takes time for the inflation to take place and for Bitcoin to have a reaction to that. It takes time. Nothing's going to happen fast. It's not like, oh, we printed $2 trillion. Bitcoin's going to moon against inflation. It's like, obviously that's not how it works. It takes time. David Kim, what is up? Coming in with a 10 again, David. With a spinning chair. I appreciate that, David, guys. I appreciate that, David. Guys, David is a mod in the Discord. Definitely join the Discord. Hop in Discord. There's a lot of cool people in that Discord chat. Appreciate that donation. Oh, we also have another. I missed a donation too from someone else. They came in with €2. I can't pronounce your. Oh no, your name is Lamont. And Lamont says yo shizzle nizzle. Guys, definitely follow Lamont's instructions and like the stream. But again, much appreciated, David. But anyway, guys, you guys have probably noticed by now that I'm talking about all these big picture stuff, and this is kind of where my head is usually at. The bigger picture stuff, and I'm thinking about why the market would move in a certain way, right? So it's sort of a mix between TA, psychology, and the actual technology. Kind of like to mix it all. In a lot of my videos, I stick to a little bit more short-term stuff because that's what people are interested in. But in my live streams, I discuss some long-term stuff as well. Or some, I don't even know what to call it. Yeah, still seeing a little bit of profit takers at just below or just around 9,000. Looking at the hourly now, so we'll see. Not enough volume really came in here. Anything is possible, but it's looking a little bit. You know, who knows? Maybe we just trade sideways longer, right? Maybe we just trade sideways for even longer. Who knows? If we sell off, if we have any major sell off again, guys, I'm looking to target the 21-week EMA, which is going to be coming in just above 8,000. If there is a major sell-off, I'd be looking for a pullback to, around 8,000 or above it, and possibly looking for a continuation above the 21-week EMA before any sort of breakout going through the halving. Oh, Jacob Anderson coming in with a 10 DKK. What is DKK? Danish, oh, the Danish, okay. Wait, missed it, hold on. No message attached. Well, I appreciate the donation there. Much appreciated. From Jacob. Yeah, guys, let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Let me know what countries you guys are in. I always have fun with this one because there's a lot of people from like everywhere. I'm from the East Coast in the USA. But let me know where you're at. This chart is the Bitcoin chart. Someone's asking. What is this chart? Or maybe you were asking about the stock to flow. So let's see. We got people from Sweden, Scotland, Netherlands, of course, United States and the UK. Two of my biggest viewers. And we have like Germany coming in there, Sweden coming in there. Holland is big as well. Netherlands. Liechtenstein, Antarctica, Malaysia, Canada as well. Serbia, Portugal. Count the Money Crypto coming in with the 2 says, keep up the good work in Cali. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. India, Italy. So it looks like we could be trading sideways a little bit here. Not really enough momentum just yet to snap above 9,000 or 9,100. So we'll see. I guess you could be looking at this trend line. So we'll see. As long as we're remaining above this trend line, then we could get a break above 9,100. If you break below this, you could be looking to target the last support at 8,400. But you know, also the 21 EMA on the 4 hour, we're holding above that pretty nice. Leonard says from Bum, Oklahoma. Damn, we got a lot of people. We got someone from the moon in the chat. We got someone from Romania. Must be nice to be on the moon. Hong Kong. No, guys, I'm not from Sweden. I have a Swedish citizenship, but I'm not from Sweden. I'm a citizen of the United States and Sweden. Yeah, what are some other things we can discuss? This is, oh yeah, kind of an interesting thing right here. I posted yesterday. I said, I'm in the crypto. So this is like, I was kind of trying to explain to everyone, like, why am I involved in crypto? Just like a general thing. I'm in the crypto market to prepare for the future of finance. Bitcoin has been providing the initial transition into the new economic paradigm. Many crypto projects will emerge soon that will bring forth incredible innovations that the world won't be able to ignore. So what I'm doing, the reason why I like crypto and the reason why I'm involved in crypto is I'm here to prepare for the future of finance. I'm looking to position myself in what I believe to be is the future of finance, which is cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology. So this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm here. I'm here to position myself in the crypto market for the future of finance. And this is why I do look for altcoins, but they have to be good altcoins. Because I do think that, I think that blockchain technology has more potential than just Bitcoin, right? There is more potential than just Bitcoin. Although the only crypto that I analyze on my YouTube channel on the videos is Bitcoin, because it determines the price for almost every other crypto. So it's not worth analyzing other cryptos. You got to analyze Bitcoin. But guys, the crypto industry has so much potential. Blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies. So my purpose here is to position myself for the future of finance and share all the ideas that I have with that on my YouTube channel with you guys. Hopefully that gives you value. Also, you definitely follow me on Twitter as well. I'm pretty active there. We're pretty close to breaking. Actually, no, we're already above, or my Twitter is above 6K followers now. So I appreciate to all you guys that are following me on Twitter. Twitter gets addicting, guys. It gets very addicting once you have a Twitter account where you can, where people are interacting with you, and like you're doing well in the Twitter algorithm and stuff. It's just like super addicting. You're just like always, what should I tweet next? What should I tweet next? I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. But guys, this is sort of like why I'm in crypto. Count Money comes in with another 2, and he's saying blockchain 3 sigma more impact than the internet. That's a pretty bold statement. I think AI is going to have the biggest impact of anything in human history. But blockchain and internet comparison, that's an interesting one. I mean, the reason why I'm skeptical of that is because right now you can't use blockchain without the internet. So actually blockchain is almost making the internet even bigger, or making the internet even more important. I guess it depends on what you mean by internet, right? Decentralized internet, I have yet to see anything good with that. Oh, are we missing the dump? Someone just said, all right, well, it's not actually dumping, but we're coming back to retest the upward sloping trend line right now. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. Again, we're just testing 9,000 right now. The series of streams I've had have been all called Moon and Chill recently, which maybe that's misleading to some people. But yeah, guys, we're just testing, again, you guys got to get off these lower time frames, right? I'm looking at the 1 hour chart, which is a lower time frame, but I just want to see like how, how things are behaving. When people see these dips right here, and they say that we're dumping, and it's like, no, we're not, right? We're not. Not yet. If we break below the upward sloping trend line, then you can say we're dumping. But there's people in crypto have this crazy thing where it's like every time something happens, they're like, oh, the ship is sinking. Oh no. And it's like, guys, we're fine, right? We're fine. We're above the upward sloping trend line. The trend can still go up, right? If we break below this, then sure. Then it's like, okay, maybe we're going to look for like 8,400 next or 8,600 next or something. But like right now, we're still above it. Of course, the volume is getting lower. So that means that we'll probably see a pretty significant move soon. If there's too much resistance, then we could be dumping soon below this support line. Right, we're having a decline in volume. If there's not enough support, then you can see a dump. Now we're seeing a dump. But we'll see. We'll see how significant it is. These are still very low time frames, guys. Very low time frames. So this is super insignificant generally. I mean, you can look at the 4 hour, I guess, which would be a little bit more significant. And again, this right now, we've been holding above the 21 EMA on the 4 hour pretty well. So I would be looking to see, you know, maybe we find support along it, possibly, but we'll see. Yeah, this doesn't really concern me at all, though. I mean, if you're trading on leverage, then yeah, maybe you're going to be concerned right now, but I don't trade on leverage, so I could really care less. In fact, if we dump, I'm looking to buy. Again, like I've been saying throughout the whole stream, if we do see a significant sell-off, which nothing is confirmed yet, everything's still fine. The 21-week EMA is where I'm looking to target, and I'd be looking to accumulate just above 8,000 there, or around 8,000, and looking to buy along the 21-week EMA, because I do think it's likely that we would actually find support along the 21-week EMA. So I'm looking to, you know, if we see a sell-off, I would actually love that, because it would give me a chance to buy more at better prices. And I'd be looking to buy it, you know, around 8,000. Still seeing higher lows, but we'll see. I mean, volume is still on a decline, so we're going to see possible resolution soon. I mean, with the resistance above us, it does make more sense that the likelihood of a short-term dump, it's almost like a higher chance of a short-term dump. That doesn't mean it's going to be all too bad, though. But yeah, we are sitting at resistance. So yeah, you could say, you know, lower highs. We are seeing higher lows, though. But at this resistance, you know, it does make sense that we could see a little bit of a pullback. But it's an interesting consolidation. Because we're at historic resistance. So yes, I mean, you could say it's more likely that we would see a pullback, but again, there's a lot of demand for Bitcoin going into the halving, so I don't really care too much about short-term stuff. I'm still very bullish on crypto, even if we were to pull back. Still very bullish. I mean, honestly, a pullback right before the halving would probably be good for long-term focused people. It gives you a chance to accumulate more. Yeah, finding some resistance now just below 9,100. Just looking at chat. I mean, guys, you have to be you got to be ready for you know, again, this is something I was telling my patrons in yesterday's update. And that is, you have to approach the market like when you buy an asset. You know, if you're short-term trading on leverage or something, you know, I don't know what to tell you. That's not how I trade, right? So this is not for you. But if you're here to accumulate at good areas of value, get positioned in the crypto industry for the long term, position yourself for the future of finance, which is what I'm doing. You got to think, like, if you buy something, just assume it's going to go lower, or assume it's likely that the market could always go lower. So if you buy Bitcoin, just treat it as if it's very likely that the market could just go lower. Just assume that the market could go lower. That way you buy and it goes lower, you're not going to freak out, right? So just always assume the market could go lower. And if you do that, you'll have a much easier time, and you're not going to be like, oh my God, please don't dump, right? Because if you're just always assuming the market could go lower and that you need to have capital aside to accumulate more, you're always going to be ready, right? You got to have that kind of mindset. Hans Zoller says, why do you stream at every little pump if you play long term? Okay, so this is my third live stream in like 8 months. So you're making the claim that I stream on every little pump. Completely false, first off. Second off, I was streaming during this pump, not little, pretty significant pump, right? 22% pump. I was streaming through that pump. Pretty significant, I would say. And now I'm just streaming again because I have a goal of doing more live streams. I just want to do more. People are requesting it more. People want me to do more live streams. So I'm just going live more. And the thumbnail is just testing 9K, right? So it's not like, I don't know. Just hanging out. Ventila says, we who have been here know Kev. Yeah, people used to love it. People would love. I used to have like this thing, because if you guys have been watching my channel, since this breakdown of the parabolic trend on my channel, I was predicting 2,500 as the low, which was pretty close for a year-long prediction. But once we broke below 6,000, I was going live like every day or something. I don't even know what it was. It was like a lot, right? Because I was getting a lot of views. People were subscribing, right? And this is like where my channel grew, right here. But people used to love it. I would go every time something would happen in the market, I would go live. It was like my thing. It was like my brand or whatever. People, like, whenever Bitcoin did something significant, I'd be live, and people would know I'd be live. And that's what I did through the whole bear market. And that was really fun. People loved it. And I haven't, when we hit the peak here, and we had that first initial dump off this high, I went live, and we were talking about potentially the parabolic trend or this trend ending and looking to target, after that we were talking about looking to target 72 to 7,500, the 618 golden retrace. So I did a lot of live streams there. right? So I kind of like do live streams that when things about my analysis are happening. So then we call for this low and a rebound, and that took place. So now I'm streaming a lot again, and maybe I'll go live more often now. And it's like I'm like a seasonal streamer. It's weird. Like it's literally seasonal streaming. You'll notice, like, if you go to my live stream playlist, all the live streams took place here, and then the next set of live streams all took place right here, and then now they're starting to take place right here. So it's like a seasonal streaming thing. So we're kind of just still trading sideways. I just wanted to come on stream today and just talk to you guys a little bit. Because, you know, my live streams, you know, in the first half of my live streams, I kind of go on a tangent. I just talk about everything that I want to talk about. And then the second half, I just like talk to the chat. And it's literally like all about just like me talking to the chat half the time. INF dot says 9,500 today, possible? I really don't think so. Don't think so. Yeah, we're just kind of consolidating sideways right now. So again, the volume's declining. So we're going to see the market break in a direction right now. If we see enough demand for Bitcoin right now, we could, you know, could push above 9,100. But again, we're at resistance. So it's like, if you have already had a major run up and you're at resistance and you're consolidating and the volume's declining, and you're at resistance, it is more likely probably that you would see at least a short-term, you know, pullback, maybe to retest 8,400 or something, maybe continue to trade sideways, because at this point going into the halving, it makes sense that the demand for Bitcoin would be high, and that, you know, maybe we would just come back to retest support before buyers, just, you know, before you see that increase in demand again, people interested in buying Bitcoin at these levels. You know, maybe we should just see a small dip. It's also quite possible. So even if we do see a slight pullback, I'm really not worried. In fact, I would almost prefer Bitcoin to fall to 8,000 so that I can just accumulate everything again and just get ready for what could be the next major bull phase. Honestly, I would almost prefer it at this point. That's how bullish I am. I'm so bullish that I want the prices to go lower so I can buy more. That's how bullish I am. Is the stream still going right now? Yeah, we had a little bit of a lag. We're good. Someone said, did you see Crypto Jeb's prediction of a drop to 7K? I did not. I didn't watch that video, no. I don't know what his reasoning is behind it because I haven't watched the video. Personally, I'm a little bit more focused on the 8K range, that if there's a dump, we'll probably find support around 8,000 along the 21-week EMA. But again, you know, I've discussed so many times, you know, on Twitter, just about how, yeah, like this tweet right here. Don't forget, this is crypto. Things can become more bullish than you ever thought possible, and you have to accept that you're not smarter than the market, right? And you're not gonna like sit there and time the market. The Bitcoin halving is upon us. Ride the wave. Don't be afraid to buy the dips. Think long term, right? So, you know, I've talked a couple times recently on Twitter about how things can sometimes just get more bullish than you ever thought possible. And that's happened many, many, many times in Bitcoin history. I think we did lag there again, but I was saying sometimes things can just get more bullish than you ever thought possible. And that's happened many times in Bitcoin history. Oh yeah, did you see this amazing tweet argument I had with Peter Schiff? I said, Peter, watch, Bitcoin's going to drop 50% and it will still outperform gold in the long run. And then Peter goes, Bitcoin is getting ready for another 50% drop, which was totally wrong, totally false. March 14th. I don't know why my stream's getting a lot of lag right now, but March 14th he said that. We were right here, and he told me that we were going to drop. Peter Schiff thought we were going to drop another 50%. Of course he thought so. But that was really funny. And then I pointed out the weekly volume, and then I also, under this, pointed out that he was bearish on Bitcoin at $200. When Bitcoin was at $200, Peter Schiff was bearish. And I pointed that out to him. Of course, he responds to this comment about gold, but he doesn't respond to my comment. Oh, I said it in this comment. Yeah, he doesn't respond to this, though. That's the best part. He'll never respond to you if you say, hey, you were bearish on Bitcoin at $200. He'll avoid it. He'll just avoid it because he's been constantly wrong. It's really funny. Peter Schiff, he's becoming a meme. Peter Schiff is literally becoming a meme. Keep getting some lag on here. I'm not sure why. Did you guys see that intro to the last video with the bull fighting the bear? Definitely check that out. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to stream all too much longer. I just want to come in here, have a chat. I wanted to explain to you how I'm seeing the market and everything. I guess we can do a bit of a recap now. Guys, definitely hit that like button on the stream. Let's get 400 likes. We're only 30 likes away. Let's get 400 likes before we end the stream. But I'm going to we'll do a recap before we end it. I don't know, I'm seeing lag on my own stream, but you guys aren't. It's really weird. Moonship. Guys, you can go to my website, I guess. Someone's saying, how do I contact you for business inquiries? Definitely, you know, if it's a weird offer, I'm just not going to respond. I get all kinds of emails. People trying to get me to promote all kinds of weird stuff. People that don't even have a finished product that are telling me to promote it. Yeah, huge lag. That's right. I keep getting that. I gotta figure out what that is. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna do a quick recap as well before we end this. On the daily, things look pretty good, right? Looking at the daily chart, things look great. Nice breakout above 7,800. We did hit some resistance, right? So it does seem like it's in you know, if you're looking at the daily, we are seeing a lot of wicks on our daily candles coming back down, seeing daily candle closes along this area. Daily candles closing in between 88.40 and just below 9,000, or I guess this hasn't closed yet. So, you know, these daily candles are closing around 88.20, 88.40. So you're seeing sellers, you know, continuously step in at the end of the day, getting that close below 9,000. So it's possible that we could see some downside, but this would also still be a higher low. Again, I'm very focused on the long term. This would also just be a higher low. So even if we do pull back to these kind of levels, I would actually be looking to buy more. I'm actually looking to accumulate at 8,000 on a pullback. If we do pull back. Nothing's confirmed yet, guys. I'm not saying we're going to pull back, but that's how I would treat it, right? I would be looking to actually accumulate more. And that downside target is kind of coming in along the 21-week EMA. Right? So that's another thing you can look at. Overall, in the short-term time frames, we're still seeing higher lows along this area. So that's good. We're still remaining above the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart, so that's good. Still seeing higher lows on the 4-hour. We also are seeing lower highs and a decline in volume. So this kind of brings us to the point that, it's a consolidation. So we're going to see the price most likely get resolution soon. If we do break to the upside, maybe we see some sort of rejection again from in this area. So it's an interesting place to be in. I'm kind of uncertain about the next move right now. It's because we have resistance above us, but we also have demand for Bitcoin. All the halving demand, people wanting to get involved in crypto right now, right? So there's a lot of increase in demand. We're sustaining these prices. We're actually seeing higher lows, but we're sitting below a critical resistance. So it's like it's obviously you can see it on the chart. We're having this interesting consolidation. So, it's gonna be up to the whales. It's gonna be up to the whales. Are they gonna chicken out and dump Bitcoin, or or they're gonna pump it going into halving? We'll see. So I'm kind of neutral right now. I honestly wouldn't mind a pullback because I would like to buy because I'm very bullish on Bitcoin right now. But I could see us breaking out as well. I mean, in the last stream, obviously I was pretty certain that we were going to see at least 9,100, upwards of 9,500, and we hit that target. Now I'm a little bit more neutral. Short term, long term, very bullish. And also we discussed on the weekly chart that if we were going to get some major bullish indications for Bitcoin, you're looking at the downward sloping resistance on the weekly, right? So this downward sloping resistance on the weekly chart is really the main macro bullish signal I'm looking at right now. If we get above this level, like 9,500, we create support and bounce. That's very bullish. Of course, the next major area to get above is going to be 10,500 as well. That's like ultra bullish. If you get above 10,500, ultra bullish at that point, as long as we don't have another major virus or something. But above 10,500, I'm ultra bullish. I would say we're probably following stock to flow. Bitcoin's probably going to enter the next bull market. Above 9,500, above the downward sloping resistance right here, I'm getting pretty bullish at that point. Right above that downward sloping resistance, I'm getting pretty bullish. And then when you break above 10,500, I'm ultra bullish. And to the downside, let's see, to the downside, if we fall down to the 21-week EMA, and we hit like 8,000, and we hold the 21-week EMA, I'm still quite bullish, guys. I'd actually be looking to buy there. I'd actually be looking to accumulate more. I would see that as a great buy zone. If we fall below the 21-week EMA, this is when things get a little bit more bearish. The one thing that could make this happen is if the stock market sees a pullback, right? At that point, you could see some bearish moves if the stock market sees a pullback. And the lowest I think we would go on any major pullback would be 64.30. That's like ultra bearish target. I think we'll probably hold the 2019 low, but we'll see. You could be looking to target on a major pullback around 7,000, just based off of this previous resistance right here. And we also found a lot of support in that area as well. Around 7,000 would be like a more likely downside target if we were to have a major breakdown below the 21-week EMA. So, yeah, like something like this would be like a bearish scenario if the stock market sees a major downturn. Overall, I'd probably still remain bullish on Bitcoin long term. But yeah, still, I'm pretty bullish. As long as we're above 8,000, I'm very bullish. As long as we're above 8,000, I'm very bullish. again, that downward sloping resistance is the next major bullish macro signal. You get above that, it's very bullish. Get above 10,500, ultra bullish. But yeah, as long as we're remaining above the 21-week EMA, things look great. And that's coming in right now around 8,000. So that's like a general recap, I guess, of how I'm looking at this. Alright guys, I'm probably going to end the stream soon. But yeah, just to give a recap, I think you guys pretty much understand. If you've been watching most of this stream, I think you guys pretty much understand how I feel about this right now, how I feel about the market. I think I've explained my view pretty well. We'll see. You know, there's not that much sellers right now, but we're sitting below a critical resistance. So it's a tough call in terms of the next move. But as long as we're above 8,000, we're above the 21-week EMA, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm going to be buying Bitcoin on any dips. But that's just my long-term style, right? Some of you guys trade differently. Some of you guys trade short-term. So, you know, what I say may not be as important to you as it is to all the long-term people in the chat. I mean, maybe, you know, some of the things help short-term trades with targets and stuff, but... Is the microphone not loud enough? I can just turn it up. Yeah, I mean, I could bring the microphone real close, nice and close and personal. I honestly probably should have this set up better so you guys can hear my voice a lot better. But anyway, guys, probably gonna end the stream soon. Still consolidating. We're going to see a move probably pretty soon. And again, you know, we're at a critical resistance. So we're finding those sellers, but we have a lot of demand for Bitcoin for the halving. So we're finding higher lows. So it's like, it's kind of up in the air right now, but I'm very bullish on crypto overall. All right, guys, so I'm going to end the stream. We got at 400 likes. I appreciate that. Let's see if we can get it up to 500 likes within the next 30 seconds. Doubt it, though. But I'm going to end the stream soon. I appreciate you guys. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Also, of course, a few things, guys. Follow me on Twitter. I'm tweeting a lot. If you don't have a Twitter, join the crypto Twitter community. Create a Twitter. It's a really fun community. Twitter's a great way to get a hold of people that you can't normally get a hold of, right? Like some of the bigger people in crypto, you can get them to respond to you sometimes. I argue with Peter Schiff all the time. You can tweet out Elon Musk and maybe he'll respond. Also, guys, we have a really good Discord community. Awesome Discord community. Join that Discord channel. It's an easy way to get a hold of me. I'm always chatting in there. A lot of people are always chatting in the Discord. And yeah, guys, if you want to support my work on the channel and you want to support everything I'm doing on YouTube and you want to keep the content coming, definitely join the Patreon. You get extra content there. You're supporting the channel. Some of the days that I'm not posting on YouTube, I'm posting in Patreon. And you can look into one of the altcoin portfolios that I've created for everyone there on Patreon to keep track of. It's pretty interesting. It was like a little project that I had where I started a portfolio from scratch and built it up, an altcoin portfolio. And the goal was to get it up to a $10,000 valuation. We've already hit that goal. And now I'm looking to accumulate even more, add some more exotic coins into that portfolio. And if you join the Patreon, you can actually see all of that. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We talked about a lot of different things. It was pretty fun. There will be a replay, obviously, at the end once I end the stream. And yeah, guys, appreciate it. Smash that like before you on your way out. And I will see you guys in the next stream or video, whatever it is I do. I'll see you guys later. Oh, and also, guys, shout out to all the people who sent tips in the chat here today. Shout out to Lamont. All the people who tipped today, shout out to all you guys. Shout out to Lamont. Shout out to David Kim for the 10. Jacob. Count to Money. Crypto coming in with a 2. Coming in twice, actually. Appreciate all of you guys. I'll see you guys in the next stream.